Hey, what's happening, in the world? It's your boy, Mr. LeVar. And right. This the Barz with LeVar podcast. And look, I'm gonna let you know my dog say he want to roll with your folk. We're gonna do our own spot. He gonna be my co-host. So we're gonna change this from Barz with LeVar. It's gonna be Rock with LeVar podcast. You heard? So look, appreciate y'all for pulling up and sitting down with your folk. You know what this is, a low-key intimate sit-down where questions going to pop up on the screen that I'm going to get from comments, DMs, and lives, and you're going to get real, on-the-spot, dead-ass answers. But before we go any further, you already know what to do. Like that video, share that video, subscribe to the podcast, and if you haven't, oh, hold on. What I was going to say was go to barzwithlevar.com and get that merch. But finna go ahead and start that new merch. It's gonna be Rock with LeVar. We're gonna have our own merch. So y'all make sure y'all go cop that. But in the meantime, in between time, go ahead and go to barzwithlevar.com and get that too. But look, man, we got a lot coming at y'all today, man. A little bit that's about everything that's currently happening. You know, we just had the 2024 presidential debate. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We just had the 2024 MTV VMAs, so we're gonna talk about that. What's sad to say, you know, but we're gonna have to address that too, is a couple of recent industry deaths that have happened too. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't been to the A in a minute, but coming from the A, like that was something when I just found out Rich Homie had passed last week. You know, from what I haven't read too much on his passing, but they say it was a drug overdose, is what they say. And that's sad that a lot of our brothers, and it's been a thing. It's not like it's something new. You know what I mean? You can go, Rich Homie, you can go to XXX Temptation, you know what I'm saying? You can go to Juice World, you can go to Mike, talking about Jackson, you know what I mean? It seems like, Mike wasn't really a drug overdose on his behalf, so to speak, but drugs seem to be the common thing. From somebody, Rock, if you got input, right? This is just a question, my own personal question. If you got input, like, why do you think drugs play such a big part with the passing of our young brothers and sisters these days?
Oh man, I think it's a spiritual thing, bro. That's what I think. I think when you get into music, a lot of people aren't really aware of how, like what frequency you tapping into. I wasn't aware when I was younger, you know, the power of music, the power of the tongue, the power of things that you say in your music and how that actually applies to your everyday life. You know, like, for instance, for me, I got in a car crash in 2021, and then it's really eerie when I go back and I listen to music in 2018, 2017, when I'm talking about, you know, getting in car accidents, you know, almost 9 Yeah. You know, that whole thing about, I'm not, you know, I might not make it to 25 and I got in a car accident, almost died at 25. And I'm like, dang, bro, it's like I spoke it into existence. And so I think that's the thing that a lot of artists aren't really in tune to, is how spiritual this is.
You know, that's something that I've been a real big believer in general, is the power of the tongue, speaking things into existence, your energy, your aura, what you give out. So, you know, like some people call it karma. That's a thing too. For me, everything evolves around whatever energy is floating around you. And if you say, I'm going to get in a car accident at 25, right? You're putting that energy out there. And it works both ways. Like, people think that some people think it's only a negative thing. Like, you can only speak negatively and it comes into existence. Some people think it's only a positive thing. It happens all the way around. So that's one thing that I try to do, is I try to say a lot of positive, you know, affirmations to myself, to other people in my life. But specifically, I'm gonna say to myself, like, when it comes to this music, like, I got a couple of partners that I work with at VM, right?
Yeah.
And when I first got here, I told them, man, I was like, say, don't expect me to be here. I know I just enlisted into the military, but don't expect me to be here for long. because I plan on getting on within a year. And I say, if I don't get on in a year, the only reason I don't get on in a year is because I'm deploying to Dubai for 6 months. And that's one of my bucket list locations. So I'm not tripping if, the universe takes its time. You know what I'm saying? Let me go make that little trip real quick.
You found the glitch, bro. You hit the lick on that one, bro.
You know what I mean? Straight up. I don't know how that happened. But again, I think that's energy, though. You know what I mean? Like, I got some people that got sent to like Montana or Idaho or, you know what I'm saying? First off, I got stationed in Vegas. First duty station. My first deployment location is Dubai. Like, I really ain't got no complaints, you know what I mean? But that's because that's the energy that I try to give out, you know what I mean? So I agree with you. I do think it's a spiritual thing why a lot of our young people are passing based on drugs because it's in the music, which you touched on that the last episode we was on as far as your deal, your publishing deal, and how the music, the spirituality that you tapped into was different than the music you were doing when you first got signed on. Even if you are spiritually somewhere different in a positive light, if you're still trying to make that music that doesn't resonate with your new spiritual healing and spiritual self, it can still rub off on you.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people unfortunately miss. And it's not even just the music that you put out, it's the music that you grew up listening to. I grew up on like Kendrick, Cole, Wayne, Nip.
Right.
There's a lot of, especially Kendrick and Cole, as much as I love them, they have a lot of like lust in their music. Wayne too, like the lust in the music. There's certain songs with depression. So it's like certain songs. Certain people listen to other people that got murder in their music, so they got murder on their mind. And so it's like whatever you taps into, whoever is people that's chasing that bag, it might be chasing a bag chaser, somebody that's doing that type of music. They got money as an idol. So it goes every single way. This when you tap into the music, it's a frequency. And that's why the powers that be, they know that. That's why they chose the music industry. And then they get us to speak on it, bro. Come on, bro. You know how powerful
we can push it so easy just because and it's sad to say, but it's well known, right? Like us as a people, and I mean Black people, right? We can move the needle in sports, music, fashion, and the powers of the industry that be, they know that. And that's why they use us as the face to move that needle, but they also have their agenda. And therefore, that's why I feel personally, I'm not saying it's a known fact or a proven fact, it's just my opinion. But that's why the state of music is the way the state of music is currently. And it's all about murder, death, drugs, because that's what they want our people. And I don't just necessarily in this part of my conversation, I don't mean necessarily just Black people, but people in minority, but specifically Black people for the most part, right? That's why they push that agenda, because they know we're going to listen to it, and it's the power of the mind, power of the tongue. And they know if we hear it, then it's going to stick with our culture and it'll depress us or suppress us even more as a people. You know, I mean, totally different topic, but
no, that's exactly, it's spot on, man. Because today, for instance, right, I was going to the ring shop. I'm looking for some engagement rings right now. So what I'm playing R&B music, bro. And I'm
already, like I said, it's in the vibe, getting in the mood.
I'm playing Jagged Edge, right?
Already.
I'm sitting there playing that, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is music. It feels like the music that's being played today ain't even music. It feels like it's trance music. It's like they just putting you in trance. It's like a chant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really. They're not even like making the music. They don't know how to write songs the way that we do, the way that people back in the day, like this music now is not real music, bro.
It's funny because I'll see, man, hold on 1 second, bro. Yeah, so it's funny because when I look at certain posts, like I got a homeboy. I remember I moved to Houston in 07. Shots to my nigga D Real, Derek Russell. He got a Facebook group called the Old School Family.
Yeah. Shout him out. Got to be right.
I want to get him right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Old School Family Lounge. I was saying Old School Family, but I was like, I knew that wasn't it. But the Old School Family Lounge, you know what I mean? Shouts out to him. I remember I was in Houston in 07. That was when I first moved to Houston. And that was the first, he managed the first club I ever worked at. And point being, like they do a lot of posts. He got damn near 80,000 followers now, something like that. You know what I mean? But you'll see a lot of posts on his page and everybody else's page too, though, right? Trying to show love to music from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, them early 2000s music. Not too many people is really showing love to music after like the 2010s. 2010s is kind of when it started to fall off a little bit, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
You know, funny, bro, because I was at this this fashion store, and there was these two twins from Europe. And I was like, yo, you know, y'all from Europe, like, what y'all be listening to for real? They're like, man, we still listen to like old school J. Cole, Wayne, 50. Like, the rest of the world's still back then. Like, they don't listen to this music, bro.
Nah, that's because it don't hit like it used to.
It don't hit like it used to. And then it's ironic because I was watching this, what was it, the All the Smoke at the Gills Arena, the basketball. All them Brandon Jennings and Kenya Martin and all them.
Oh no, I was thinking of Up in Smoke with Matt Barnes and
Steven Jackson.
Yeah, Steven Jackson. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. My fault. Go ahead.
Now you good, but on it, they were talking about who's the best between the 2000s and the 2010s. And what they came to realize is the best people in the NBA, they did like a first, second, third team. And the best in the 2000s also were the best in the 2010s. And so I'm like, the same people that was, and I'm like, that's across the board, because the same people that was still going crazy in the 2000s, music-wise, we're still going crazy in the 2010s. Kanye, Drake.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's true. I want to pull that up because I would like to see that snippet. I want to pull that up because no, that's absolutely true. I'll say the newer people that came in after 2010s, not all of them, because when did Cardi come out roughly? Cardi came out after, I mean, it was after 2010s, but when did Cardi, she came, it was like 17, 16-ish?
Yeah, like because she came from the reality show, so she was like 26. Yeah. That big album came out in 2017, 18.
That's what I'm thinking.
That album was 2017, 18.
Okay, so let's say there's pockets of people that came out after the 2010s started, you know, and there's certain people that was hot, but as an overall collective of music, after the 2010s, it just wasn't really hitting like that. But go back to, let's say 2000s. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I can probably count on 10 fingers, 10 artists before the 2010s, 2000 to 2010s, that was at the top 20 on the Billboard that were hard. And I'm talking about people that are still relevant today. You know what I mean? I can't really say that now with good music, in my opinion. Give me a handful of artists that consistently come with good music. And I don't mean they just pop just because they got a catchy hook. That's good music for a club. That's good music for a moment. But that doesn't make me solidify you as a good artist, a good songwriter, just because you made a catchy hook and your shit was popping off of IG for, you know what I'm saying, because everybody was making a dance video to it. Kudos to you. Ain't shooting shots at you. Because shit, on God, like, let me come up with a hit that's catchy, that gets a dance video on IG. I'm going to do it too. But I also still have, you know, the back catalog of that boom. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I probably can't think of 5 artists today currently that are new. And I say new, I mean like within the past 5 years or so that have been consistent, that are in that I feel should deserve to be in the top 10.
Top 10 all time?
Oh, top 10 all time is different.
That's not what I'm top 10. What we talking about? Top 10 what?
I mean top 10 that deserve to be in the top 10 on the Billboard 100 Billboard.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
Musicians?
But that's definitely a segment we can make, is who the top 10 all time is though.
Oh, I would love to get in that one. I'd love to, because you got different categories. You're talking about influence, you're talking about bar for bar, you're talking about hit for hit. It's you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me and the wife, we went to go see Tank did a podcast, right? And on the podcast, the question was, who has the better catalog? And I'm gonna ask you this question, and then I'm gonna give you my opinion on what that means to me. But he said the question was, who got the better catalog? D'Angelo or Maxwell? Who you feel got the better catalog?
See, that's hard for me, bro. You know why it's hard for me? Because I'm just really not getting into R&B like that.
Okay, understood. Okay, so let me ask you a different question. I can still get your answer, so I can give my opinion based on his answer. I'll ask it differently. Who has the better catalog? Ooh, that's gonna be tough. Who got the better catalog? J. Cole or K-Dot?
So now you had to break down what catalog mean. So
that's where I was going with it. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you where I was going with it, right? So that was the question. Who has the better catalog?
Exactly.
Maxwell or D'Angelo?
I know my favorite is Maxwell, D'Angelo. Who's you?
So when he said catalog, and this could also be because I don't know everybody's history as far as their imprint on the industry, right? So with that in mind, I said Maxwell based on the amount of songs, the amount of hits, the amount of ways he has touched the radio waves. I said Maxwell.
Facts.
He said D'Angelo, but he said D'Angelo, and his answer was, if you put on D'Angelo's song from like, I don't know, it had to be like 93, 94, a song called Untitled, was a 6-minute song. How does it feel? That throwback song. He said, play that song, the whole 6 minutes, and then play any song you want from Maxwell and tell me which song goes harder. That to me is not a catalog. That's comparing a song to a song.
Yeah.
So I couldn't agree with his answer.
Yeah, that's like verses. That's like
that's just like verses.
Yeah. Nah, Maxwell, I know, because Maxwell transcended generations though. He came out of the 90s and it still has stuff in the 2000s that was like that Pretty Wings song came back and he was still moving. You know, so I gotta go back and study D'Angelo more. But when you go to K-Dot, J. Cole, just because you asked me that. Just because you asked me that.
Okay.
Catalog, and so we're going off of influence, or like, because you got to lay that out for me, bro. So because K-Dot just resurrected his whole career with this.
Speaking of K-Dot, I'm gonna say, give me your own perception of what catalog means to you, because I don't want to alter your answer. So however you take catalog, take it, because that's what Tank did. Me and Tank took catalog as 2 different things. So you can use catalog however you want to.
All right, let me do it like this. Because a few years ago, me and my ex, we sat down and we were going through people's catalogs. We paid for the beginning of the catalog and we just let the album ride. Next album, we let it all ride out, right?
Okay.
And so that's what I think of catalog. I'm talking back from, we can start from Friday Night Lights, Cole, and we start from Overly Dedicated Kendrick.
Okay.
And we go up from there. Who Snap Harder? Who Snap Section 80 Kendrick? Sideline Story. Good Kid. I gotta go K-Dot.
Hey, it's tough.
I gotta go K-Dot. I got to. As much as I love Cole, Cole missed on a few that I was like, ooh, like, and when I say miss, I don't mean like it's trash. I mean like, it wasn't like Born Sinners was my favorite J. Cole album. It still probably might be, but when that came out, I was like, whoa, You know, especially because that was Good Kid, Mad City versus Born Center. That was the closest, and then 2014. But then the For Your Eyes Only, it's cool. It was different. Then KOD, it's like, okay, but he had to get back into he had to catch that new wave. K-Dot, when he did Damn, frontwards, backwards.
Yeah.
Frontward, back. You tell him you can rewind the album, and it's a whole different album?
That's creatively penmanship. That's on another level. That's on another level, right? That's not typical.
Nah.
That's why I'm not saying nobody's done it, but the last time I've even heard anybody be able to get close to doing that was like Bone Thugs back from like the early 90s, because they did their album backwards.
Lupe. Don't forget about Lupe.
Okay.
Lupe did Miss the Cool. The Cool had like a lot of intricacies to that one with the Superstar song, that whole album. There's a whole deeper meaning to that one. I don't remember it off top, but it get deep. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So we talking about K-Dot, we talking about J. Cole, right?
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on K-Dot getting the Super Bowl show in New Orleans?
I think it's deserved, bro.
Okay.
I think it's deserved. You know, I seen what Wayne said. I heard people have mixed opinions on it. I think it's only because, you know, Wayne feels that way because it's in New Orleans.
Right.
Okay. You know, I get it, but we talking about somebody that literally just resurrected. He's the hottest thing this summer, bro. He's the hottest one out. He just took down. It was a David and Goliath, and he just took down Goliath, bro. It's like, what you
talking about Drake, Champagne Poppy popping in multiple genres,
bro.
And the reggaeton genre, Afrobeats genre, he was touching a lot of different people when it comes to the music he was putting out. A lot of people don't like Drake. A lot of people do like Drake. You know what I mean? But regardless of if you like or dislike, one thing that you can't say about Drake is that he ain't hot, or he wasn't hot, right?
Yeah.
So for Kendrick to come out, take down Drake, for Kendrick to come out, make J. Cole remove himself from the beef.
Come on.
People don't talk about that though.
Come on. Like, and that's why I couldn't put Cole over also, because Cole recognized what he was up against, bro. Like, and like, let's not sleep. And so that's my thing, is because Drake was putting out some fire, bro.
Yeah,
and that's what
he was.
Bro, that nigga said, drop and give me 50. He said, what?
Like, and the song went hard, I ain't gonna lie. The club was going crazy. The radio waves was going crazy. I don't know what it peaked at on the Billboard, but at the end of the day, it had hella views. Like, Drake been hot. Nigga, Drake been hot since like 07, like 08. And when I say hot, let me rephrase that. I don't mean every song he had that he came out with went hard, but Drake has been the upper echelon of the rap game since mixtape days back in like 07, 08, and he has not fallen off. I don't call just because you came out with a song that's so-so, or maybe one or two that's so-so, and then you come back with some bangers. I'm not gonna say you fell off. Drake ain't fell off. Drake may not appeal to everybody, but the fact that it was 1v2, and I'm gonna say 1v1.5, because it was K-Dot versus Drake and half of J. Cole. And the reason I say half of J. Cole is because J. Cole's put his foot in the ring, and then he was like, nah, I'm gonna throw in the towel. No shots. It just is what it is, right? Yeah. So I agree with what you're saying. Like, I do think that K-Dot deserves to do the Super Bowl. The timing is just right. It's unfortunate for my dogs from New Orleans, like Wayne, Young Money, Cash Money. It's unfortunate for them that this Super Bowl just happens to be in New Orleans, but the timing just ain't right, bro. Like, there's no way an executive can give an explanation as to why would you pass over K-Dot, because he may not be as hot as he is now next Super Bowl. You better ride his wave right now. So it just makes sense.
And you know what I would like, bro? You know what I would like? And this is gonna be a throwback. It's gonna be a throwback when I do it. But if he could find a way to bring Wayne out as a feature, like if he could through J-Rock do like like Hood Gonna Love It and do like a All My Life with J-Rock and Wayne or something that could like, okay, show love, we in your set. I bet this is cool.
I would say based on people don't give Kendrick a lot of business minded when it comes to moves he makes musically, right? They don't really talk about the intelligence of it. So I do think that he will find some way to bring out, even if it ain't the rest of Cash Money, Young Money, or a lot of other artists from New Orleans. I do see him finding a way to bring Wayne out though. Because look what he did in LA at the courthouse when he shot the They Not Like Us video. Like, dude, bro, never mind that. The concert alone, the concert was crazy. Like, dude had, bro, I ain't ever thought I'd see NBA players get on stage. Like, my dude had actual players on stage, like, walking.
Yeah,
that was live, bro.
Westbrook was walking, bro.
Westbrook was going crazy. Yo, my dog Westbrook forgot he was getting money from the NBA real quick, bro. He was like, I'm back at home. He going in.
He was, bro. He was. They had LeBron in the audience. They had Mustard, YG. Like, he really crushed everything. Like, Drake's like, oh, yeah, these YG. He was shouting out YG in his diss song. Like, and then Kendrick bring out YG. Like, bro, really, YG on my side. Really, DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, he might have played for Toronto, but he from Compton. So what's up? He in the Not Like Us video. Like, what's up, bro?
Yeah. You know, so look at how big that impact is. So just on that alone, right? That little small segment we just talked about. How can and a lot of people blaming Jay-Z for not picking Wayne, but a lot of people don't think about it. It's not just up to Jay-Z. Like, yeah, Jay got a hand in it, but there's also other music executives that have a hand in who's going to be chosen for the Super Bowl. Topic for another day. But my whole thing is like, look at what Kendrick is doing right now, though. And Wayne is so my favorite rapper, period, and it could be age, but my favorite rapper, period, is Tip of all time. Like, and I don't mean just because he's the best lyricist. I don't mean because of whatever, but Tip was that nigga from all different aspects. So he's my favorite rapper. So with that being said, Wayne lyrically is at the top as far as when I'm just going to talk about lyricism and bars, metaphors. Wayne punchline for punchline. Like, Tip ain't in that category, right? Like, Tip say some fly shit, but Tip a different swag than Wayne. Tip is
storyteller.
Right. It's two different music type of topics I'm going to talk about when it comes to Wayne and Tip. But when I talk about lyricism, going in the paint when it comes to painting a picture, making you rewind what he just said, it's like, yo, did I catch that right? So with that being said, Wayne goes up there at the top. But again, he's not hot like that right now to where it makes sense to put him in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So I can't fault Jay or anybody else that had a hand in making that decision for not choosing him.
Cause who been hot like K-Dot in a while though? Ain't nobody. K-Dot is really on a different level right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he brought a whole, like, my mom, her generation, like, yo, what's going on? They not like, what is this? Like, this is a culture thing, you know? Like, yo, he made it.
That speaks volumes of what he's doing right now. You know what I mean? So it just makes sense. So now you got to bring him into the mix. I get that. So what's funny, right? So we talking about like K-Dot, what he's done brought to the music, what he's doing right now currently when it comes to the music. The 2024 MTV VMAs just came on, right? You happen to get a chance to watch it or not?
I didn't. Nah.
Okay, so I did catch a little bit of it. I recorded it. Well, you know how you got. I got the Fire Stick, so I can go back and watch it, right? So I didn't get to watch all of it, but in it, they had a couple of different categories. They had new artists of the year. They had video of the year. Busta Rhymes is coming out with a new album. I didn't know that. llcoolj is coming out with a new album. Huh?
I heard Busta's last album was kind of hard. I ain't listened to it, but people were saying that was the best ones.
Okay, so I'm actually going to pull it up. So back in the gap, keep in mind, bro, like let's see, 8th grade for me. At that time, LL was hot. He was really one of them ones that was them ones when I was in like 8th grade, right? So personally, from a nostalgia perspective, I want to see what his new album is like. But I saw him perform on the VMAs, so I'm like, I give him kudos for still being in the game, but he's not evolving to stay with the times. One person, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, it's a real thing. It's a different game, bro. It's not like how it was before. Like you really gotta catch it. It's a whole shift, bro.
And he's not like my dude's still dressing. All right, so I'm gonna say I hate to say this shit, you know what I mean, because I'm older, right? But like dress swaggy for an older nigga, you know what I mean? Like you can see he care about the way he look, you know what I mean? But it's like, nah, bro, nobody's wearing that no more, you know what I mean? Like he's still wearing cut-off sleeve shirts with like the black tees with the cut-off sleeves and like baggy jeans. Like nobody doing that though, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie though. That boy Bust, and I'm gonna have to pull a picture up on that nigga. That nigga Bust came out busting. Like my nigga had on the all blue jean Louis V fit. You know this nigga got the chain that's like unnecessarily big. That nigga chain Cuban links like that big. He had the bracelet that was a Cuban link like that big. Swear to you, no cap. The nigga ring had a ring on his finger that went from like his bottom knuckle, like above his bigger knuckle. I'm like, bro, why you need that much jewelry? But that's what they do now. That's what everybody doing now. I'm not that dude, but everybody flash. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, for the most part. You know what I mean? I'm not him. Like, I'm gonna keep me a little, a little bit of peace on.
You know why that is? That's crazy you said that. I was just talking to my sister about this like yesterday, bro.
What's that?
And we were pulling up old stuff, old like Beyonce videos, old like 2000s videos where VMA concerts and literally the VMAs when Eminem was doing Not Afraid with Rihanna, Love the Way You Lie, 2008 VMAs, right? She like, dang, like look what they wearing. Like he just got on a hoodie and a white tee. Like what is that, right? And I'm like, bro, like there was no fashion back. It was who you were back then.
Yeah.
Now that it's about independent and social media and all this different thing, it's like became very materialistic because it wasn't, and it was more so talent, and you were catching the A&R's attention based off your talent, not what you had on and your drip. Now it's, I gotta look like I can compete with a Blueface or with a Roddy Ricch or somebody of that ilk, right? So
ain't that sad though, bro? Because it's like you got people out here that have legit, real, vocal talent, lyrical talent to write for, write your raps, whatever it is that you do. You got instrumentalists out here that are very talented. And because they don't have a look or they don't dress a certain way, it's sad to say, to touch back on the topic we was talking about earlier, where the industry kind of pushes a narrative. They make our women, dress with nothing on for the most part. And if you ain't doing none of these things, it's kind of like a actual human algorithm. The human algorithm won't choose you to be what's popping if you ain't following in line. And that's sad, bro. So that's why, the videos y'all was watching back then, motherfuckers will come on stage in a wife beater. You ain't, I can guarantee you ain't gonna see nobody coming on stage in no wife beater with no jewel, like no jewels on, no jewelry on, and a wife beater. You ain't gonna see nobody bold enough to do that nowadays, bro.
Nah.
Everybody want to be dripped with everything. You know what I'm saying? Jewels, clothes, and everything. And it's sad because it's like, I'm okay with that, right? And this is a topic for another day that we can actually talk about. I would like to talk about.
All right.
But every time you have artists that are trying to dress with Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Balenciaga, we don't own none of that.
Yeah.
We wearing all these jewels that come from Africa, and we don't own none of that. Our people, our ancestry should own it because it comes from where we come from, but we don't own none of that. But we will continuously invest in it. We will put the hard-earned money that we go to work for, we'll go spend money on it. I saw what's that dude? I just saw it today. Justin Fields for he used to play for the Bears, but Justin Fields for the Steelers, right? Okay. He made a post earlier, didn't give a fuck. Dude was like, my jewelry fake, got it straight off of Amazon.
There it is.
Okay, I'm cool with that. The reason I'm cool with that is because one, you keeping it a buck, right? Like you ain't wearing no Amazon shit trying to say you went and spent 50 bands on your chain. I don't really give a fuck if you did or not, because I ain't got the 50 bands to buy the chain either. Well, anyway, but the fact is, people that ain't got money, like the regular everyday, I work a 9 to 5 and get paid, you know what I'm saying, $20, $25 or whatever you get paid an hour. I'm gonna go take that check and I'm gonna go put me a chain that costs $8,000 or a ring that costs $8,000 on layaway just so I can go perform on stage. And now you broke because you're trying to pay off this $8,000 ring you can't afford. And that's on the low end, right? That's not no crazy expensive jewelry. I ain't talking about chains with no pieces, no pendants. I ain't talking about, I'm talking about something simple. But we'll go do that as a people, go and spend that much money on a piece of jewelry when you got people out here that's literally signed for $140 million contract, spending $20 on some earrings and $20 on the chain. But we won't get on game.
Bro. We
hustling backwards.
Hustling backwards. And I seen Ocho say the same thing. Ocho Cinco, he was saying the same tip. Like,
you know, Ocho been cheap.
Yeah. He's still going to McDonald's and whatnot. And so it's funny because like with that PPP loan, bro, you got to see how people acted out, right? You know, they used to buy by the ounces, now buying it by the pounds. You know, you buy it by the grams, you buying it by the ounces now. Like everybody is trying to level up on a different way. You know, I was talking to one of the homies about that, and because we were just talking about the crime rate and everything. And I'm like, bro, this crime rate is getting crazy, bro. He's like, yeah, you know, that PPP messed everybody's heads up. You got used to going out of the country, used to go to different cities. Now you're going out the country. And so you feel like you got to maintain that, right? So, you know, now people are robbing, looting, doing all types of stuff just to get it. So, yeah, that's interesting. Which makes me also want to ask: did you get to see any of the debate?
So I did get to watch a good portion of the debate. I want to actually have a good segment about the debate, and I want to be able to put up some clips about the debate because I did get to watch it. Did you get a chance to know?
I did. I watched it like twice, actually.
See, that's what I need to do. I haven't seen it twice. Okay, so the biggest question that everybody was asking, right? Because there's no who won or who didn't win. It's not officially who won or who didn't win. Who do you feel won the debate?
Man, I think Trump won, bro.
Okay.
But that's from my point of view. I feel like everybody's looking at the different lenses. You know, from my lens, I feel like Trump won. I feel like Kamala was she was the best I've ever seen Kamala Harris look. She was very polished. She got some training. You know, she spoke very well. I think both of them, I mean, it's politics. Both of them are going to say what they got to do to get into office at the end of the day. But I do believe that there were certain issues that arose in this last presidential these last 4 years, pretty much, that was very interesting, versus the previous 4 years before when Trump was in office. When we're talking about a lot of the illegal immigrants coming in, we talk about World War III coming in. It's like, okay, these are big issues versus more so the issues at hand that the Democrats are presenting. But
Right.
that's my point of view. Neither here nor there. I'm not getting into politics. I'm just saying
Right.
I think that they both, Kamala looked very good. I think Trump, he said some things that were very interesting. I know people were going on him for talking about the cats and dogs being eaten in Illinois,
Yeah, that was a
Springfield.
very big topic. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that all over the place, man. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, y'all took that and ran with that one, bro. They talked
They
about
did, bro.
outdoor,
That was like the biggest thing for people. They got memes about it and everything now. It's crazy.
but you see, it's like it's clickbait stuff now. It's like,
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
I guarantee you, majority of the people didn't watch the entire debate. Majority of the people are only, the attention span of people nowadays is very small. Like TikTok has ruined people's attention span.
It
So,
did, bro. That's
who
why I
you think?
said before.
Man, go ahead.
You're not going to keep people's attention for the most part, as a whole now as a society. To keep
Yeah.
people's attention for more than 5 minutes, and that's a long stretch.
Mm.
If you're strolling through social media, a minute and 30 seconds is the most you'll probably get on average. And that's sad because that has translated over to real life. And what I mean by has translated over to real life, you just touched on it, saying like this presidential debate kind of turned into clickbait, because one of the biggest topics, if not, and I'm not saying this as if I have stats, but one of the biggest topics was the whole statement Trump made about immigrants coming over eating people's dogs. There was so much more that was spoken on besides that, but that was the big topic of discussion that everybody talked about because of the attention span. We're in a social media driven world now. But with that being said, I agree with 100% with everything that you just said. I do think that Kamala came out very well spoken. The way that she reacted so I speak with my face a lot, right? So I could see her speaking with her face when he would say something and she felt some type of way about it. Like I could see certain changes in her face where it's like, oh, I want to say something, but I'm gonna be cool and I'm gonna be cordial and I'm gonna let you finish, right? So I can see she was handling herself very well, because a lot of these things weren't things that have happened previously. But I will agree, I do think that Trump won as a whole, and I say that partially because of the society that we live in now and where we have come since his past 4 years. Without giving my opinion, because I'm the same way, I'm not really personally between us yet. We can talk about our opinions on it, but I don't want to make this a whole blow up on social media because of my opinion.
Oh my God, it's like a spirit on this election, bro. People really feel away when you bring this up, man.
Like, they do. It's like, why can't we just agree to disagree and be okay with that sometimes? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're wrong because you feel the way you feel, or I'm right because I feel the way I feel, but it's just like McDonald's versus Burger King.
Exactly.
Just because somebody might like McDonald's over Burger King don't mean you're wrong, or I can't rock with you, or now it's got to be a debate and an aggressive argument over it. Nah, bro. You like McDonald's over Burger King? Cool. Nigga, that's you. Exactly. Fuck.
They targeting your character. I can't believe black man. Whoa. I'm like,
they make this very personal. You know what I mean? And for me, okay, so my thought would be too, we kind of touched on this off camera, but we were talking about when you took your trip to Burkina Faso and you visited Mali, and you went to all these different places, but there's a lot of young individuals that have stepped into the political limelight over there. And it is a night and day difference from the productivity and the way that the country has been moving forward when you look in that region versus where we are currently. I know it has nothing to do with this current debate, but we didn't actually get to talk about that. When you went over there and you actually got to sit down and talk to a lot of these leaders that are basically our age, your age, and in between, what's the biggest difference that you saw as far as functionality between when you were in Burkina Faso versus when you were here? What's the biggest difference you saw?
Yeah, and answer. Go ahead.
I'll say, in addition to that, also say, what do you see that we could change if you could say today, this is some of the things that we need to change to better us as a people, add that into what you would say.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Before I answer that, I want to say one thing though about the reason why I believe that they are allowed to be in place. You know, I saw a statistic recently that said that the average American, like the baby boomers, that there's so many of them that when they move, they're getting older now. So a lot of what they believe carries on. So the baby boomers is like 50s, 60s now, right? And so it's like they're so programmed because they've been watching TV and fed the news their entire life that they have a way of thinking. They don't realize that they're propagandized and brainwashed in a way, but that's what they are. And so, you know, I say that to say it's like it's very interesting that, you know, when you have somebody that's a free thinker, we have all these different platforms out here now that are coming out saying, hey, you know, this may not be the way. The baby boomers, they don't like that. And I'll add Generation X in there too, you know, some of them. But I say that because there's a quote that says that hard times make strong men. Strong men make good time or easy times. Easy times make weak men. Weak men make strong men. Weak times make strong men, and then repeat, right? And I feel like that's where we are right now, that we are the baby boomers, Generation X, they had easy times and it made weak men and women. And now times becoming hard again. And these hard times, it's now time for strong men to stand up. And now it's strong because it's, you know, we seeing what the world's looking like. So when I go to Africa and I look at it, it's like, you know, a lot of them, they've had hard times. And so a lot of them have made strong men, you know, from youth, you know, seeing death from youth. You know, as soon as you touch down in Africa, bro, especially Burkina Faso, some of these, you know, what the world would say third world countries or whatever, when you touch down, it's like, oh, I'm here. Like, first night I got there, it's like, man, you know, I get to my hotel and there's children from the age of 4 to 10 sleeping outside, about 100 of them sleeping outside.
Straight up.
And I'm like, bro, this is real poverty, bro. Like
outside of the hotel,
it was a hotel, and then there was right next to the hotel, it was like a store front, and it was all outside on the storefront. And I'm like, whoa, like, okay.
No parents, no nothing, like no, just kids, no adult figures.
I saw all children. I saw some adults the next day, you know, because it was a storefront, but they were all out there, man. And it was like, you know, at that time I didn't realize Burkina Faso's like listed as like the 4th worst place in the world to travel to right now. But yeah, you know, you see President Ibrahim Traore, 36, 37 years old. It's like, okay, you know, this is somebody that's been in war. Like he's I think he's the captain. You know, he's you know.
So he's actually has been a part of the military out there.
Yeah, I think he's special forces. I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's you know, you see him in his military uniform. It's like, yeah, but you know, they have a different way of thinking. They have actual morals. You know, everything. They're able to actually have control over their country. You know, a lot of things that we do here would not fly there because it's like, you can't do that. Like it's tighter knit. You know, the government has so much power here. Big government has taken over. And that side note is another reason why I was like, okay, Trump, even with this whole abortion thing, it seems like he's trying to give it back to the states. You know, hey, Before we were big government, federal government, we were 13 colonies. And these 13 colonies each had governors. And the governors were the ones that were in charge of each particular state. And so that's what I believe it should be. That's why every state has their own constitution. You know, we have the states are supposed to be ran like that. We are the United States of America, right? Just separate states, not one big. And I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not trying to go down right now. But nah, to answer your question, bro, I think that, you know, they actually have strong men. I think the men here, they are a lot of them. There's a certain segment of strong men, but there's also a very wide segment of men that growing up very hyper masculine, which is equivalent to feminine to me. They don't have masculine traits. There's a lot of things that we don't know how to do, like how we used to. Like, I'm not of the age group where I had like wood shop in my school. Right. You know, I have certain things. I don't have certain trades that a lot of my older brother has. Like, he's 44, right? He knows how to. He's a carpenter. He can do mechanical things. It's like, dang, like they took that out. Like, I didn't get that skill, so they pushing everybody to the cities, and the countries are, you know, older people and they dying off. And so the big businesses, they're buying all the farmlands and it's becoming like a metropolis, bro. Like, it's getting crazy. I just saw this movie called Uglies, bro. You got to watch it. It's on Netflix.
Uglies?
Uglies. It's like the #2 movie on Netflix right now. And it talks about that. But yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll pull that up because I'm real big into documentaries, things that are productive, right? Like, I watch TV every blue moon, and when I say every blue moon, I literally mean every blue moon, bro. Like, I watch maybe 2 hours of TV a week, if that, you know what I mean? And that's push. And when I say TV, I'm talking about like actual, go to like NBC, Fox, something like that. I'll turn on the TV, but when I turn on the TV, I'm watching something productive. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, like a documentary or something that's feeding me intellectually. And if not, I'm doing the music. You already know. Right. But I'm gonna pull up Uglies because I like watching stuff like that. But I will say, in addition to what you were saying, I kind of want to touch on the hypermasculinity that goes back to when we had the conversation about music. That's something that's been pushed on our people, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying in my opinion. Like, so I used to smoke. I can't smoke now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like herb, right? I used to smoke herb, but it was natural. I think that that's also a form of what's turned a lot of our men. It's a multitude of things, but even that's something that has turned a lot of our men into being soft is the type of herb that they're smoking. They ain't smoking this natural herb, which is why, outside of the money, which is why I think these factories have been legalized, where we can now buy weed legally. It's because now they can control what's being put into the weed. If you can control what's being put into the weed, you can control these different molecular parts of a human's body and brain to transform them into what you want them and need them to be. That it goes into the food. The food is changing our men. It goes into the books. It goes into what we're being taught in school. You just touched on, you weren't taught like carpentry. They don't have home ec no more. They don't have none of those things no more. Like, our women don't know how to cook. Our men don't know how to use their hands. It's by design, in my personal opinion. That's by design. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I've said before is, after I get established with my career and things go the way I need them to go, I'm definitely going to find me a spot outside of the States and start exploring that option, because I've been out of the States. I haven't had a chance to go to Africa yet, which I do plan to do. And it kind of sucks because me going to Dubai, I'm right across the water from Africa. You know what I mean? So I would love to be able to go because I'm so close. But I just don't have the now. I maybe ever have the chance to go once the deployment's over, because I can take leave before I go home. You know what I mean? So I'm able to have that chance. But to be able to just touch the people, and it's different for me than it is for you. Like me, I'm speaking from a hope, from a vision of what I see when I get there. You can speak from I've been there and I've seen it, and I know what to expect now because I've been there. So that's a big thing that I think one time before I come back from the deployment, I definitely want to be able to go over there. Question. Okay.
Take, bro. It's a
What's
lot
that?
to take. It's a
I
lot to
can only
take.
imagine. Just off of that statement of you pulled up to the hotel and you saw 4 to 10-year-olds buku sleep outside, like that would you know what I'm saying, hurt me here. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, bro. Like as a grown ass man, it's hard to struggle finding a place to sleep or food to eat. Imagine being 4 to 10 years old in that same position, fam. Like that's deep. That's tough.
And it make you realize like how blessed we are. As much as America is like Babylon the Great, it's like we're still blessed to be here because I'm over there and your electricity cuts off, the AC cut off. It's 160 degrees outside, cut. Like it's what you telling me? Oh man, it's a different way of living, bro. Like
you
know, but what?
That's definitely something I think. Huh?
Now go ahead. I was gonna ask you something. I got it loaded.
No, go ahead. You good?
Because I know you said that you wanted to move outside the country.
Right.
Do you have a top 3 list? Like, do you have you know where you want to go?
Yes.
I know you haven't been there yet, but do you know where?
Yes, top 3 list. So Panama, Colombia area, not in this order. Just saying the top 3, right? Panama, Colombia area. You know, Mon Dukes had a spot out there in Panama. I went out to Colombia. Beautiful, but the water's not my kind of water. It was pretty city, lovely city. I'm a Pisces. I love water. I want to be around the water and be around the beach. So if I'm around the beach, I got to be able to see what's in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So if I put my feet in there, I need to make sure I'm seeing if it's some sharks, some fish, some gator, whatever it is, I need to be able to see it. If I can't see it, I ain't putting my feet in it. So it defeats the purpose of being out there. So that's one. I haven't had a chance to visit a lot of any location, but any of the locations in Africa, but definitely somewhere in Africa. And that's probably going to be on the number 1 list, to be real with you. Now, once I visit the UAE, when I get back, I can give you a real answer because that's one of the 3.
Okay.
Once I go visit, that could change. I don't know. But before I even joined the military, my 3 were Asia, South America, UAE.
Okay.
And that's broad.
That is broad. That's very broad because Asia's a big continent.
Yeah.
You got Bali.
I said Asia. My fault. I meant Africa. Africa. So Africa, South America. With South America, I'm specifically saying Panama or Colombia. UAE, I'm specifically saying around Dubai. Africa is the wide range because I don't know exactly where in Africa I would want to go, but those are my 3. What about you? What you got? Got
you. Man, I still gotta get to Colombia, man. I had a girl down in Colombia, man, bro. I never met her, but I loved it. Let me start.
I think that he had a whole family and everything.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yo, let me tell you how live Colombia was, bro. Colombia was so live. I was just around and made a song about it. Like that's how dope it was. Like got a song called Heart in Colombia. Like that's how live Colombia was. Without going into deep.
Rica too.
Yeah. No. I didn't get a chance to go to Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Mom Dukes and Auntie, they went. I wish I would have got a chance to go because they actually the ones who put me on about how we're getting land out there as a people, being African American people. Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to go. But I sure as hell would have loved it though.
Yeah.
All right, so what you say? What so you say Colombia, you got you a girl in Colombia that you ain't met yet, but she bad.
Man, I'm getting married, bro. That's past me. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm about to hem myself up. So look, I think Belize is a beautiful country, bro. I've not been, but I've heard many great things about Belize.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about Aruba too. I just
Okay.
started hearing about Aruba. Somebody said like, yo, as soon as we stepped onto the soil, like the air is totally different. Like you feel like the air is cleansing you. So I'm like, I gotta go tap into that. But I haven't been to Belize. I want to check that out. So if I were to do
Our grandmama and Auntie Pip used to go to Belize like all the time, all the time, all the time.
yeah, Aunt Pip said she got some land down there, man. So I gotta tap into that. You know,
Right.
Belize is I studied Belize, so that's definitely like my number one. Senegal will probably be two if I had to choose something on the coast, like Africa. I would probably stick to the western coast, where they used to say like that was Negro land, so that's where they took a lot of our people from. But I actually have my mom. She was able to do a ancestry and find our ancestors in Senegal.
Okay.
So,
Word.
we were able to back in 2015 actually meet our family that lives in France and in Senegal, and we were able to meet them.
Word.
They came and visited us. They speak French. We got to speak with them a little bit, and so her sister.
How was that experience?
But that was crazy. That was amazing. That was literally amazing. So they were telling us like, hey, this is where we're from. We're from Casamance, and if you go back and I'm able to trace back my lineage all the way, then they give you free land. So I'm like,
word.
Yeah, you go talk
out in Senegal.
Senegal, yeah,
That's hard. Okay.
So I'm gonna have to take advantage of that for sure. So
right,
yeah, Belize, Senegal, and man, always had a love for Jamaica. I heard it's changed. I've never been.
Me neither.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make that move, bro.
Well, I got a partner of mine that I got real cool with. He from out there. Actually, shouts out to my boy White, man. My dog Tion White. He actually just brought for the Olympics. I was doing country themes, Barz with LeVar shirts, and I did a Jamaican themed one. He actually just copped one. He actually just got it like 2 weeks ago. Well, it came in like 2 weeks ago. It was a little bit late, but regardless, yeah. Shouts out to my dog, man. He from Jamaica. When you from Jamaica or when you from any country, you're gonna put your country on the map. So he says it's beautiful. He got a spot out there. I would love to go out there. We got to link up and just as a way to be able to learn different cultures and have that experience to be able to talk about these different things. That was one reason why I joined the military. I joined the military with the assumption of I can deploy when I choose to, right? Nah, that ain't it, bro. I can only do it once every 18 months. So it kind of is hindering me from what my goal was. So with that being said, I'm happy, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, and I'm appreciative that Dubai is one of the first spots I can go to. But that's why I joined those, because I want to learn about different cultures. I want to go to, different countries and just see how you operate, how you are as a people, what kind of food you eat, what's kind of music you like what makes you tick. Like for me, I have certain routines I do, things I do when it's time for me to go to bed at night. Like, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all take your shoes off when you walk in the house? I want to know these different things that people go through. So that's something that anybody, if you got the chance to do, I would definitely say do, which I don't know how you do it, but you was able to make it to Africa. And bro, keep doing what you do. And I know next time y'all go, if I have the ability to, as far as time frame wise, I know I'm trying to get on board. I told Auntie the same thing.
Got to. Man, shout out Auntie for real. She definitely came in clutch on that one. Africa was you got to see the different cultures. It's definitely a different cultures, the way they do things. It's definitely some cultures we talk about offline. Now it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know y'all did that. Like, okay, bet.
Right.
Yeah. So it was cool though.
Stuff we can relate to.
Stuff we could relate to, stuff that was like, oh, okay, like you can see also the influences of their colonizers. Like Burkina Faso was colonized by the French. So the
Right.
foods they ate were more bready, croissant.
Okay.
We had, stuff like that. I like Burkina Faso. In terms of it's more desert. Nigeria was cool, but it was colonized by the English, so they speak English. Burkina Faso speak French. So
Okay.
50%, 51% of Africa speaks French.
Right.
So that's I'm sitting there talking to a billionaire.
Yeah.
He's a whole oil tycoon, and I can't even speak to him because I don't speak French. So
Right.
little things like that, like dang, But and then in Nigeria they speak English. They eat more meat, because English is more, they eat more meat. So certain things like that. Like they don't really use washcloths like that in Africa. So I'm like, okay,
Across the continent,
I didn't see
like
one
period.
washcloth the
Oh
whole
man.
time I was in Africa, bro. Yeah,
Fuck it, I'll
yeah.
use my shirt if I got to, bro. Like I can't.
No,
I
hey,
ain't with
hey, that was a culture thing. I was like,
Yeah.
here we are, okay, So
Okay. So speak. So something like that, I'm not accustomed to. How did
yeah,
you adapt to that, or could you adapt to that when you was there?
yeah, being military, hey,
You gotta
you make
make
it
do. Show you right.
good. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that was a culture change, being the electricity going off, having the rolling blackouts. That was different. Um, yeah, stuff like that. What's the other one I was thinking of too? There was one more. Uh, it's escaping me right now, but yeah, it's certain things that's culture changes, bro. So
All
I
right,
get
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
So this what I say then. I say for me and for you, since we gonna try to make this a consistent thing, right?
Mm,
I would like for people that have not been out of the country or to these different spots, quick little maybe 1 minute snippet whenever we come back every show, right? Give them
yeah,
something new, because I would have never known that washcloths were not a thing being in
yeah.
Africa, right? So since you have had that experience, let's try to give them something new about anything in life, be it a visit that you've done to Africa, a visit I've done to Colombia, or something musically, doesn't matter. Let's try to make that a segment where we give somebody something new to learn every episode.
I'm
Cause
with it, bro.
y'all go pull up my dog video. Shout out your link real quick, not your YouTube, your TikTok that you did the other day with the Constitution about
Oh, yeah.
the Republic versus the Democratic state. Do that, because that put me on game. I was not fully aware of everything that you were speaking, and I watched the whole video. So you'll give a shout out to that real quick. So if you remember.
Yeah, for sure. That was in reference to the training manual 2000-25 that was on November 30th, 1928. It was created by the chief of staff, the Department of the War Department at the time, and it was to pretty much just educate the military age men at the time about, hey, what's the difference? What's the difference between autocracy, democracy, and a republic? This is what a democracy looks like. This is what a republic looks like. This is what an autocracy government looks like. And they broke
Right.
everything down in definition, because if you're gonna fight for your country, you need to know what you're fighting for, right? And
Absolutely.
so that is what instilled nationalism at the time. That's something that I believe is really missing right now in our country. Nobody is really as patriotic as we used to be,
Absolutely
like
not.
how they are in Burkina Faso or other
Right.
nations across the world, right? So everybody's more individualistic versus family oriented, national oriented. So anyway, yeah,
Where can they find that video?
yeah, they can find it on my TikTok. It's Run It Up Rocky. That's my TikTok. Yeah, man. I
Bet.
at Run It Up Rocky. Yep.
I bet.
Right
Y'all
there.
look right here. Got it up for you. Y'all look right there, because my dog stay putting up some very knowledgeable and informational content. So with that being said, man, look, we're gonna go ahead and let y'all ride for the night.